Welcome back to Little Experiments. Today I'm excited to show you the marketing tactic that I think every company should be using right now. And that's regardless if you're a startup, scale-up, or established corporate. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and exactly how to set it up for yourself. Now, as a marketer, your strategy is everything. And that includes how you position your company, your messaging, and of course, which channels you use to reach your target audience. But there are some channels which are in pretty much every marketer's portfolio. Google Ads and Meta. Google Search to collect those people with high intent, and Meta to drive awareness at the top of the funnel and perhaps conversion at the bottom of it. My argument is that you should be adding one more channel from day one. So when it comes to distribution, it pays to be smarter than your competitors. And often it's just a case of trying out a new provider a little bit quicker than everyone else or digging a little bit deeper than they do, even if that just means checking one more checkbox in an ad interface. When I was working at Babel, we excelled at this. Whenever we saw a new product in the Google Ads interface, we started testing it immediately. And that didn't just turn out well for the company, it also turned out well for me. Google ended up flying me around Europe to talk about it. I was on stage in Dublin to talk about GDN, in Munich to talk about GSPs, and in Paris to talk about YouTube ads. And then we were the first company to go big on Outbrain, the content discovery network, and Outbrain flew me around the world too. And those channels I just mentioned, there was a time when they made up almost half of the company's 9-digit revenue. So without further ado, let's talk tactics. I'll show you the ad and then talk through the placement, the numbers we saw in our little experiment, and then I'll show you how to set it all up. Let's get started with the placement first of all. Let's jump over first to the YouTube homepage. Now the layout of your homepage is probably going to be pretty similar to mine. You'll have a few long form videos at the top, then a bunch of shorts, and then as you scroll down, some more longs and some more shorts before you basically hit this library of long forms. So why am I showing you this? Well, I want to play Spot the Ads. So here in the top left, you have the first ad, this one from Grammarly. Then you have the organic long forms. And then if you scroll down, you start to see more ads just scattered throughout the homepage, typically on the left or right-hand side. Some of these are video ads and some of these are image ads that take you directly to the advertiser's website. Now let's keep this position in mind, and while you keep it in mind, we're going to head over to our YouTube analytics and see where all the views for our YouTube videos are coming from. So here in YouTube analytics, you can see all the different sources of our views. You can see YouTube advertising as the number one, and this is exactly when we were running this little experiment. And then if you scroll down, you can see that the second biggest source is browse features. So what is browse features? Is basically YouTube's recommendation engine. So if we click through here, views coming from the homepage. For most channels, the biggest source of organic views will be the homepage. And the views coming from the homepage are basically determined by YouTube's algorithm, determining what you're interested in based upon your past viewing history, for example. So let's bring these two facts together. On the one hand, you have the homepage as the number one source of views for most channels. And on the other hand, you have the opportunity to buy this number one spot on the number one page for the number one source of views, aka the most valuable placement on YouTube. Next question then, how much does it actually cost to land this most valuable spot? Now let's take a quick look at our setup here in case you're not so familiar with Google Ads. Here we have two campaigns, one with a pretty narrow targeted audience, another with a broader audience. When I started testing this for the last video, I thought the low costs might be due to the broad audience, because broader audiences generally incur lower CPMs and lower costs per view. So I developed a more narrow audience, and lo and behold, there was actually hardly any increase in CPV, from 2.2 cents to just 2.4. So we're basically paying 2 cents a view, which is remarkable when you compare it to channels like Meta or Google Search. Let me give you an example. I looked at CPC averages for our clients in Meta and in Search, and the cost per click for Meta in Germany was about 40 cents and 4 to 5 euros for Google Search. Not only that, but the CPMs for Meta were around 20 euros versus under 2 euros here. Now these cheap rates are great, but they're not the whole story, of course. What happens after the click? Well, let's jump over to YouTube Analytics again and take a look. So here you can see that viewers are sticking around for 1.5–2 minutes, which is way longer than you'll typically engage someone on almost any other platform. The way I see it, I'm paying just 2 cents for 2 minutes of my ideal customer's time. So the next question is, what should you do with those 2 minutes? Let's open the YouTube homepage again. Now, every time I refresh this page, I pretty much see the same 3 to 4 companies, because there are so few companies that are properly investing in YouTube, despite the fact that it's such a powerful channel for both paid and organic marketing. But even these advertisers, trailblazing as they are, aren't really taking the right approach. They're basically just placing traditional ads in this placement and focusing on their product rather than content that's really gonna attract and educate and entertain a broader audience. Why is this important? Because it would dramatically push down their cost per view and their CPMs, and they would get much more reach. Even with our approach of just using our organic YouTube videos during this test, you can see how low we can go with those costs. So just imagine what you could do if you added a layer of storytelling and sensationalism to that. You'd see the CTR and reach skyrocket, and those CPVs would plummet. So let's take this example that I can see now on my homepage. You have the Grammarly ad here, which is really focused on the company and the product. And then right next to it, you have the organic listing. Give me 58 seconds, I'll improve your Facebook ads return on ad spend. So which one am I more likely to click on? Well, obviously the one on the right. But there's no reason why you couldn't use this kind of video as the ad, and then you'd probably be seeing CTRs on your ad of like 20 or 30%. For me, the challenge format would be perfect for this position because it's something not only educates, but also entertains and showcases your skills. So for us, we could be launching a startup's YouTube channel from scratch in a week. So now we know why we're deploying this format. Let's dive into the Google Ads dashboard and take a super fast look at how to set the ads up. Okay, so to set up this campaign, we simply click, first of all, on the plus in the YouTube ads interface, and then we select create a campaign without guidance, video ads, and then video views. Then we click continue, and then we need to give our campaign a name. I'll just call it test for now. And if we scroll down, first of all, it's very important that we just select in-feed ads, otherwise the ad will show potentially between shorts or in-stream. Then if we scroll down further, we want to set a daily budget. I'll just put in 10 euros here with no end date. Then when it comes to the networks, you only want to show on YouTube. You don't want to show on any partner sites or on Google TV. Then you can select location. For now, I'll just put Germany and English language. These aren't political ads, so I'll deselect that. And then we'll scroll down further and we have the ad group. I'll just call this test for now as well. I'll add an audience that I've already set in order to narrow it to our ICP a little bit more. This key you can investigate yourself. There are tons and tons of options to narrow your targeting. And if you scroll down a little bit further, you can also target not on the user's interests and demographics and things, but on the YouTube content itself. So keywords that people are using, different content topics, and even specific placements, which goes as far down to specific videos and specific YouTube channels. And then as you scroll down, you want to select the video ad. So here you just need to paste a YouTube URL and it will automatically render the ad. And below that, you want to fill out headlines and descriptions that will go along with that ad. So here you can see some of those that I've already done, linking to the Humble&Brag websites, showing a display URL, and also some headlines and descriptions to go along with that ad. And you can see how it renders on the right-hand side here. You can also see how that would look, for example, on desktop in that top left prime position. And then finally, we want to set the target cost per view. Now here, as I mentioned, we were achieving around 2 cents, 3 cents for the cost per view. In order to start those views coming, you probably want to bid a little bit higher. So maybe you want to put in 10 cents, for example, and you'll be pretty confident of getting views onto the ad there. You can then see how much you're actually paying and then gradually reduce it in order to suppress how much you're paying. So start a little bit higher and then bring it down over time. Then you hit create campaign and you'll enter the review phase. And as soon as the review is complete, your ads will start running and you'll start building awareness. So there we have it, from strategy to setup. And now you know how to launch your #1 awareness channel for your ideal customers. If you have any questions about YouTube ads, just drop them in the comments. And if you have any ideas for experiments you'd like me to run, drop those in the comments too. Subscribe for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.